of Jesus Christ. Say, and let every curse be broken from me and my family right now. I'm tired of seeing others get blessed. So then I want you to remember this chapter, Galatians 3. Everybody say Galatians 3. Galatians 3. Say verse 13 through 14. Verse 13 through 14. Say, I'll read it every day this year. I'll read it every day this year. He says you're redeemed from the curse of the law. And that Jesus has made it possible for you to have the blessings of Abraham. But we talked about breaking those things before they break you. Come on, let's confess these words right quick. Say, this is my decade. This is my decade. This is my year. This is my year. This is my season. This is my season. To live in the covenant of God. To live in the covenant of God. Say, I am living. I am living in the covenant. In the covenant. Say, I do not live. I do not live to feed the natural body only. Say, I live to eat the words of God. Say, I am a covenant child of the living God. Say, Jesus Christ has redeemed me from the curse of the law. Say, because of what Jesus did, the blessing of Abraham is upon me. Say, I have received the promise of the Spirit through faith. Say, my name, the work of my hands, and whatever I do will prosper. Say, greatness will spring forth out of me. Say, and my children. Say, I have been made to be a great nation. Say, I am blessed abundantly. Say, my name will be great, exalted, and distinguished. Say, I am a blessing and a source of great good to others. Say, those who bless me, they will benefit. Say, those who try to curse me, they will experience the wrath of God. Say, I cannot be cursed. I cannot be hexed. I cannot be vexed. Say, I am covered by the blood. Say, those who despise me or dishonor me or has contempt for me will experience the judgment of my God. Say, I shall be a blessing to families. Say, God is with me in all my affairs to help me and deliver me. Say, I agree. Say, amen. Say, amen. Say, amen. Say, I agree. Say, I agree to this. Say, amen. Amen. And amen. Put your hands together and give God praise. Hallelujah. I agree. He said, well, 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst. He said, if they ask anything, that it will be done of my Father that is in heaven. So confessing the covenant dispels the curse and releases the power of the blessing. Yes. Now, Jesus, let me quickly go to this. So we talked about this young demoniac boy. And so it's in Mark chapter 9, if you get a chance to read it. But we talked about how this young man was messed up with this unclean spirit. And it threw him into the fire sometime and threw him into the water sometime to destroy his life. So as I was praying and meditating on it, the Lord said, I want you to go back to that throwing. He said, because there's a lot of people that come to church today that the devil is still throwing them here and throwing them there. He said, but I am going to stop their lives from being thrown all around by the enemy and thrown all around by crazy stuff in life. How many of you in here, you are ready to stop being thrown around by the devil, by problems, by situations, by bills, by collectors, by circumstances, by surprises? I am tired of being thrown around, and I want the power of God to come into our lives to put stability on the table. So he throws this boy, but the significant thing here is that the disciples could not fix this throwing problem. But Jesus, when the crowd saw him, they got happy and they got excited because they knew he could fix it. So the father comes along and he asked the boy, he asked Jesus, he says, my boy has been messed up like this for a long time. And I need help. How many of you know some family members that need God's help? That you tried to fix it and you found out you can't fix it. They tried to fix it and found out they can't fix it. Well, now it's time to get a third party involved. Are y'all here with me today? Tell somebody, say, neighbor, it's time for a third party to get involved. Time for a third party to get involved. And when the third party come in, you don't have to worry. There ain't going to be no talking. It's going to be all action. I want Jesus to show up, kick down the door, and do some destruction on my behalf. I don't know about you, but I believe that he is my big brother, and he's greater than my brother, my big brother, when I got into a fight. You know how it is when you get into a fight, and the person was bigger than you. And they pushed you around, threw you left and threw you right, and was throwing you around. And then you went, and I don't know if this happened to you, but it happened to me. And one day a guy grabbing me, and I was smaller than he was, and just tossing me and pushing me up against the gate. I told him, I said, you wait till I come back with my brother. I went down to the house. I said, man, this guy down there on the corner and has put his hands on me. My brother put his clothes on, went down there and didn't do no talking, but took care of business. And when I went back down there, my other friend told me, man, he said, man, you should have saw this guy, man. He was whimpering and crying and running and all of this. And ever since that day, the Lord said to me, he said, I'm going to show up for you just like he showed up for you. He said, but I'm going to show up for you on some bigger stuff. And I want you to know that's not only for me, but that's for you. That Jesus is sent on your behalf, and he's about to kick the door down and beat somebody behind on your behalf. I know you don't like those terms like that, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? He gonna beat the devil's behind. How many of y'all just want God to kick some devil butt? Kick a devil butt. So Jesus understood this. So it throws the boy, but Jesus begins to question. Now I want you to understand something, that the enemy wants to keep throwing your life in these 7 areas. He wants to throw you in your mind. He wants to throw you in your spirituality. He wants to throw you in your emotions. He wants to throw you in your physical life with your health. He wants to throw you in your social life with your family and your friends. He wants to throw you in your sexual life. He wants to throw you in your financial life. But the power of God has come that he might not throw you in any of those areas anymore. That you might find stability in your life. And the enemy is trying to throw you mentally. Make you feel like you're going to lose your mind. Make you feel like you can't get up out of your bed. Make you feel like the stress and the pressure is too hard for you. Make you feel like you just want to run away and you just want to leave everybody behind and go somewhere else and thinking going somewhere else is going to make it better, but the same problems are there. But I want you to know something today. You ain't got to run nowhere, because God will send his angels and his anointing to fix the problem right where you are. Tell somebody, say, I'm tired of running. Go ahead. Tell them, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of running from these problems. My God made the sun, the moon, and the stars. And if he made that, he's big enough to fix whatever is under that. Let me move this right quick, because I got to move on. So the question becomes, why couldn't the disciples fix the situation? Why couldn't they fix it? The reason is because they lack the ability to fix it. or they lack the power to fix it. You know, when you got power with God, it takes you above natural things and bring you to supernatural things.
Yes.
How many of y'all ready to go to the supernatural?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So what happens is, Jesus tells them, he says to them, listen to me. He said, the reason why you can't fix it is because you're not plugged up into the right power source. He said that your power is low. Right? If you just come to church only, you got some power, but you're going to need a whole lot more power than that to fix some situation. Right? If you have, even with sickness and even with disease, if you don't have more power, your power is low, but you got to fix it. You got to get more power to fix that situation. On this last weekend, it kept snowing. Every time we have a special service or every time we have a training, look like it's a snowstorm coming. I mean, you know that every weekend it was snowing on Sundays and snowing on the rainy day. I mean, snowing on the worship day. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And so I called Prophetess Geist. I said, Prophetess Geist, I said, you know, our friend is back this year. Because last year, we were trying to debate whether we were going to have it because the snowstorm came. I had scheduled a couple of all-night prayers because we need to pray, and then the snowstorm came, and we couldn't get through anything. Couldn't get to the church, couldn't open the gate, just weather horrible. And so she said to me, we're going to bind this thing.
All right.
We're going to stop it. And we was listening to the weather, and the weather said that it's going to be a snowstorm and it's coming from the north. And it's going to be 2 inches. This is what ABC News said. Said it's going to be 2 inches. But we sent out a text message. We said, let's touch and agree and declare that it's going to be a sunny day and that there's not going to be no snow this weekend.
Hallelujah.
This was on Thursday. By the time we got to Friday, we didn't see one piece of snow on the ground. It rained a little bit, but no snow on the ground. And then on Saturday, the little drizzle started coming, and I said, oh no, devil, you ain't gonna make this out of a liar. I said, you that is riding this storm, I command you to fall off and go back to the pit of hell from which you came. By the time 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock came, we didn't see no snow on the ground. I looked up this morning, and I looked out to see if the wind, if he was riding the wind again, but I want you to know he wasn't riding no wind this morning. And when you walk out there, I want you to